while since we saw our last episode of TidBits, which had likely covered the exact same issue that this episode is covering. Now, for quite some time, I've always been wanting to talk about a failed system in the indie game community that many of you know as Steam Greenlight, and what the legacy behind it was until Valve threw it out the door and say, alright, we're going with a more stringent quality control process called Steam Direct, which is thankfully going to be a middle ground between a heavily restricted market towards an oversaturated market where hacks can put very cheaply made, poor quality games that barely work. Now, is Direct going to be better or worse than Steam Greenlight? And to develop an opinion, let's take a look back at the legacy of what once was Steam Greenlight.
Now, as many of you know, there was once a system called Greenlight that featured a bunch of questionable developers that were very shady, and of course a bunch of submissions that looked like crap. And many of them included games that are better off on Newgrounds, and of course games that, well, didn't even represent what was actually in the trailer. Now, these are not your average games that you find in retail stores that are downright terrible, that are developed by AAA people. These are basically games that may include plagiarism, that Valve was forced to take down with a cease and desist waiting to happen, and of course developers posing under fake names, such as Digital Homicide and ECC Games, and a Greenlight group called YOLO Army who offers bribes such as Steam keys and a bunch of extra perks in exchange for upvotes. Now, before all of that shitstorm hit the fan, Greenlight started out to be a promising feature to pretty much open the market to more devs, and of course have a $100 entrance fee to reduce the joke submission, which would soon backfire in about a year since its inception in 2012. The first warning sign would be the infamous game from the defunct Wild Game Studios that Turtle Biscuit reviewed and covered, called Day One Gary's Incident. And then there are such gems like Air Control that barely even functioned, that had a bunch of assets that thrown in there that didn't match the graphics of the game, and an engine that barely functioned. And also included some copyright infringement from Delta Airlines, along with poor text overlay and grammar. Yep, it looks like someone was just playing around the Unity engine and just had the balls to charge $5 for it. Then later on, it started to attract more and more shady developers that would go after YouTube videos with fake DMCA takedowns, the most notorious of which would be Digital Homicide, and the relationship with Jim Sterling, which I had covered extensively on this show, and even had an entire episode dedicated to them. And aside from crapping out games just about every month onto Greenlight and Steam and whatnot, it even attracted developers that had their game at such poor frame rate, like Digpex Game, who had all their cutscenes all choppy and set up like a slideshow, with the main character voiced by Microsoft Sam. I'm not even joking.
Invisible and also avoid gravity. Time is ticking right on the line. Any mistake of the venom's will kill you. They come in numbers.
And then it even attracted some kids playing around their basement to take advantage of the system. And they were not even gifted students that were just successful entrepreneurs. It was just some kids taking their dad's wallet and camcorder and just filming live action cutscenes to put in their crappy asset flipped games. Full motion videos and cutscenes that have to be seen to be believed over how cringeworthy they are. Look at this.
Is this real?
I am a Darkosaurus.
We have made living memes.
And as soon as these guys were flooding the marketplace with horrible broken games, people become more and more creative to pretty much cheat their way through Greenlight. Like they would just take $100 out of their bank account and submit to be part of the Greenlight system, and just submit whatever they found on the storefront and whatever they were able to come up with. And Greenlight got so bad that nearly 40% of all of Steam's library was released in 2016 alone. Yeah, this also includes Digital Homicide's project flips or Space Invaders reskins that were just submitted as sequels using slightly different assets or a different camera angle. And it was also why this dynamic duo Digital Homicide was able to go out of the way and sue 100 Steam users for saying mean things about their games. But the straw that broke the camel's back for Greenlight was this episode that Digital Homicide did that forced Valve to basically pull all their titles and kick them out. And come 2017, the year Greenlight died, and people were just spamming out games like crazy once the news broke that Greenlight was going to be long gone, and this was their last chance to turn in a quick, easy buck and scam people for it. Then these developers became even more aggressive over the comments of their games, like Dentola Studios submitting asset packs and demos bought from the iOS store and Unity store, and then submitting them as completely different titles that Sid Alpha found out about and was silenced with a fake DMCA takedown claim. Same thing with Dallas Reviews and Lyman Studio, who even threatened to dox me if I continue to cover Bold New World. Ha! Nice try, buddy! You can't find out where I am. Nobody can! I mean, seriously, your game so deserves to be covered, and yourself, because, look, all you do is run around slashing enemies with a sword. No interaction, no strategy, no nothing. This is all I do. I fight barbarians. One-man dude. I just die in like one hit. There's no tutorial on what I'm supposed to do. Brave New World, yeah, And then Steam Greenlight died and was replaced with Direct. Now, Direct actually has a recoupable fee for each new submission to pretty much drown out people like all the Digital Homicides and all the Wild Game Studios and the Digpexes and the BMCs. All these people. Your window of opportunity has come to a close.
And in fact, it became such a huge, and as maybe you know, this became such a huge problem that many dedicated small game developers like a mobile and PC developer that I consult with and have worked with throughout the years had to actually release their games on their own personal website instead of releasing it to the Steam platform, because they wouldn't have made a profit with jokers like Digital Homicide, BMC, and Digpex out there, along with YOLO Army, just to name a few. But now they can. They have a Direct account, and the problem is really out of the way, to where they can finally make their first buck. So this is Marlyonama signing off.
Thanks for watching. I really hope you liked this video. If you want to check out more from Marlyonama, please hit the subscribe button below, or go to my website at www.marlyomedia.com. And if you really like the content, be sure to support me on Patreon or follow me on Twitch TV. And as always, sign on.